Hello, my name is Morgan1. I'm a learning advisor in the Centre for Teaching and Learning in Learning Development. In this module, I'd like to talk to you about using evidence in academic writing. I've divided the module into 3 different videos. In this first video, we'll be looking at how to recognize academic writing. In the second video, we'll be thinking about why we use evidence in academic writing and how to make a distinction between your own voice and the voice of the evidence. And in the last video, we'll be looking at plagiarism and plagiaphrasing. Now, I want you to read 3 example paragraphs, and I want you to decide whether you think these paragraphs are academic writing and why. If you click on the button, the document will open in a separate window. You can return back to this demonstration and press the Continue button after you've finished reading. Do you believe that these paragraphs were examples of academic writing? If you answered true to the previous question, well done. The example paragraphs were indeed academic writing. But what aspects of these paragraphs tell us that they are academic writing? Now I'd like you to write the aspects which you think show us that these texts are academic writing in this box. So if we look at this example, a few things stand out to us which show us that this is academic writing. The first, academic writing in this box. So if we look at this example, a few things stand out to us which show us that this is academic writing. The first is that the author has included references and also a reference list. So the author has followed a style of academic referencing here. This also shows us that the author is building an argument based on research. So if we look at this first sentence here, the influence of irrelevant information has also been demonstrated in a number of settings with direct economic implications. This phrase, has been demonstrated, tells us that other people have shown in their research. And that's an aspect of the language that's used in this sort of academic writing to make it less personal rather than saying people have shown, and building an argument on evidence that has been found through research. So, how did you go? Let's have a look at the ideas that you wrote down earlier. How do they compare with the ideas that I stated? Okay, let's talk now about what constitutes evidence. Well, evidence is other people's thoughts, their arguments and theories. But importantly, it can't just be anybody's thoughts. It needs to be taken from an academic source. It can be other people's work, empirical research findings or data. And it can also be other people's different presentation of thoughts and work. For example, in discussion books or articles, or empirical research books or articles. It will also help you in critically reading an article if you understand what type of article it is and how that type of article is structured. For example, a discussion article, which is an article that is based on other people's research findings and builds an argument based on that research is structured in the following way. It starts with an introduction, followed by several headings. These headings are relevant to the content, and they also often include diagrams. Finally, there's a conclusion. The next type of article we'll talk about is a research article. This is an article which presents the researcher's own findings. The structure of this type of article is a little more complicated. Again, it starts with an introduction, covering the background and purpose of the study, which is followed by a literature review, in which the researcher covers all of the literature that has been written to date on the specific topic and identifies the gap in the current research, which their own research is trying to fill. Following that is the methodology, which shows how the research has been done and justifies the design. After that is the research findings, the tables and the data, and all of the other information. The final section is a discussion or conclusion, and this talks about the significance of the results, what they mean in the wider context, and also the limitations of the study, what the study couldn't show. The most important sections to read and understand here are the literature review and the discussion sections. The middle section, the results, often contain lots of technical data which may not be necessary for you to understand in order to understand the findings of the research. Now I'd like you to look at 2 example articles and see if you can identify from the structure which one is a discussion article and which one is a research article. Click on the button to view the first article. Once you've made a decision, return to the presentation and click on Continue. Then answer the question. That's the end of our first video. Please take a little break and we'll continue with the next video.